Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And you guys already know what it is. It's What If Deku Was Reptile Part 3. And if I'm not correct, I left off right before Aizawa's quirk assessment test, if I'm not correct. Excuse me. But what I... Yeah, that's where I left off. Basically, they get in their outfits and they meet up out in the field. Aizawa throws Deku the ball. And since Deku has enhanced strength from his quirk, he throws this thing. Gets about 200 kilometers. 200 kilometers. Basically, he scores first place in everything but the ball throw. Because, he can't really beat Infinity unless he got Infinity, which he did. So, boom, bada beep, bada pow. But, yes. So, what? Heroes versus villains. But yes, heroes versus villains. So yes. Teams are gonna be Deku and Froppy versus Bakugo and Ida. And I'm gonna change this up a bit. Other than the teams, I'm gonna make it to where Deku and Froppy are guarding the bomb, and Bakugo and Ida are the ones trying to get the bomb. Because this makes some more sense for the way I'm gonna do this. Basically what they do, you know how Bakugo is. He goes exploding out, going to try to trying to find the bomb. But basically the plan of Froppy and Deku's plan is that, they both have camouflage. They both can turn nigh invisible. So basically what they do, Froppy kind of stays where the bomb is, invisible. So if they do find Deku and restrain him, if they beat Deku, Froppy can hold the line and hopefully beat them. But basically Deku walks out of the room invisible. And Bakugo comes exploding. Like, let's say they're on the second story. Bakugo comes exploding around the corner, and he gets clotheslined by Deku. And Bakugo falls onto his back, because he was mid, charge. Or whatever, yeah, charge. And then he got clotheslined. and then Bakugo just keeps explodes around him. Explodes around him. Because he doesn't know where Deku is. And Deku is just... Bakugo thinks he's one way, then he get hit the other way, and then just back and forth. Basically, Deku's beating the shit out of Bakugo. Constantly. So Bakugo's he's kind of losing, he's kind of just standing there. It's kind of like the fatality thing in Mortal Kombat. And what he does, he uppercuts the dude. Boom, he's done. Fatality. Then Ida comes jetting. Ida speeds past Deku because he used reciprocal burst as charge. So he kind of running up the stairs, and Deku's like, shit. So what he does, kind of jumps out the window and scales the building very quickly, and back into the room where the bomb is, right as Ida shows up. And what Froppy and Deku kind of do. What Froppy kind of does, Froppy wraps Ida up with her tongue, throws him up into the air. Deku slams him back to the ground, and they basically juggling this man in the air until Froppy wraps him up, grabs him with her tongue, throws him at Deku, then Deku kicks him into a wall. Both of them are beaten. Deku and Froppy wins. Yeah, man. So what's next? Next is the USJ. Yeah. But yeah, they on the bus. They ride into the USJ. And they get there, they meet 13, yeah, yeah, basically. They get there, they meet 13. 13 start going over that good stuff, how quirks can be dangerous and stuff. Which I'm pretty sure people should have already known of how quirks can be dangerous. Like, we got people who can legit produce explosions from their hands. Like, every bit of that is dangerous. But yeah, the portal open. They get into the main area. Portal opens up, and people get portaled. People get portaled, and Deku gets dropped into the water. And Deku is not that much. He's not good. He's not the best at underwater combat, but he's not the worst. He's not like Canon Deku when he was underwater and is about to get eaten by a fucking shark villain. Now, when the shark villain rushes him, Deku grabs him by the jaw, like holding his jaw open, and throws him out of the water onto the beach. And then Deku does swim and kind of climbs himself back up onto the boat. And let's say, man, every time I record, I yawn for some bloody reason. But yeah, this is Zay on the boat, and basically what Zay do, Deku kind of contaminates the water with his acid. He kind of does. He makes two acid balls and he throws it into the water, and the water starts to turn green, a greenish color. And basically, what that did, the acid basically spread out through the water. So basically, the water itself kind of just turned to acid, or like a watered down version of it. It still burns. It's just not as deadly as it originally was. So all the villains are kind of like jumping out of it because it's starting to burn. Then they jump to the beach, and Deku sees the Nomu like beating the shit out of Aizawa, and he's like, something snaps in Deku's head, like something snaps, and Deku goes full fucking feral on this bitch. He rushes. He blitzes the Nomu. Like, he's moving so fast it looks like he's teleporting. He's moving faster than eyesight. And then he appears in front of the Nomu. And the Nomu gets a face full of fist. Nomu gets punched back, and Deku just starts wailing on this thing. And Nomu's taking it, and he's actually starting to feel this stuff. That's how hard these punches are. And then what Deku does, he does a backflip. He's behind the Nomu now, and he kind of does his acid palm thing. I'm giving him a new technique. It's called acid claw. Basically, he produces acid in the palm of his claw, and it burns every time he scratches at something. So he kind of does that, and what he does, he shoves his hand through the Nomu, grabs his heart. No, his whole arm goes through the entire Nomu, and his hand's on the other side with the Nomu, with the Nomu's heart in it. Like, his whole arm went straight through this thing, and has his heart in, and he rips his heart out. And then he spits acid onto it and throws it away. So it's just there. His fucking heart, the Nomu's fucking heart, is on the fucking floor, melting. But then Deku sees that didn't really work, because his healing factor kind of his healing factor, the Nomu's healing factor kicked in, and you can see already that it's starting to regenerate. Deku is like, okay, that's not gonna work. What Deku kind of does, he kicks the Nomu in the back of the legs, dropping it to his knees, and he pulls a Predator. He takes his hand, he grabs the Nomu's spine and tears it upwards to its skull, and then rips its skull right off its head. and then he screeches into the sky. He legit pulls a predator, man. He's spine. Yeah, he legit ripped the Numu's spine and skull out of its head in one move, and then screeched into the sky. Like, he legit pulled a predator. Then the Nomu fell over, having its heart ripped out and having its head ripped off. Then Shigaraki rushes Deku, thinking that he's about to decay this man. Nah, we can't be having that. As soon as Shigaraki gets close, Deku grabs his wrists and puts him behind his back, and he starts to burn Shigaraki's wrist with his acid in his hands, and then he throws him to the ground. And then some random villains start to show up, starts to surround him. And Deku ain't having any of this. He's actually kind of mad. So when all the villains rush at him at once, which is not a good thing to do, they all rush him at once and jump at him, unleashing their attacks on him. Deku just jumps up. They all hit each other, according to plan. And then Deku... yeah, Deku jumps. And then... how I want to do this. Basically burning these dudes with his acid. He spits acid on all of them. This is like a big spray of acid which lands on all of them and starts to burn them. Then all the Kurigiri get Shigaraki out of there. And the pros get there. They see a lot of freaking what's it called? Villains, that's the word. I don't know why I went brain dead there for a second. They see a lot of villains aching in the pain, seeing that their skin is all boiled up. It looks like it's been burnt. And then they see the corpse of the Nomu, and they see it, and it's got a giant ass hole in its chest, and missing a head. And they see the head and the spine still attached on the floor next to it. And then they see the puddle that used to be the heart. Yeah, Deku went crazy on these dudes. Oh, and if you're wondering what his hero suit is, it's basically what he's wearing in the picture. But let's say after the USJ attack, before they leave, All Might pulls Deku. Nah. Let's say the day after the USJ attack, All Might calls Deku into his office. And basically what All Might does, he kind of explains one for all, all for one, and how the quirk works. And then Deku's like, he figures it out. He's like, so you want to give me your quirk? And All Might's like, yeah, was that obvious? Yeah. So, All Might's like, do you accept it? And Deku's like, yeah, sure, why not? He gets the quirk. Basically what the quirk did, it legit made his scales even tougher. His scales originally were bulletproof Kevlar. His original scales. But now with One for All, dude, his scales are what's a good thing? What's a good I'm trying to think. Basically his scales are basically resistant to everything. Like lightning, ice, fire. They're legit resistant to anything you could bloody think of. But yeah, man, Deku just got even more overpowered. And his acid even got more of a better upgrade too. Because his original acid could already burn through an inch of metal. Strong metal. It can already burn through an inch of it. But this stuff, his acid now can probably burn through 5 inches of hard iron. A 5-inch iron door, he could burn through that stuff in a minute. Just with a couple of acid spits or something. But yeah, man. That's it for this part. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Peace.